In this video, we reveal 25 amazing mind-blowing secrets about 5 of the most iconic muscle cars ever from the years between 1967 and 1971. Obscure and secret powerful engine options, weird concept cars, rarities, intriguing development backstories and anecdotes, and more. Stick around, you're sure to love these great muscle car history tidbits. Before its 1964 debut, the Mustang name wasn't locked down as official, with other names like Panther, Torino, Thunderbird II, and Special Falcon being considered. Ultimately, a Ford designer inspired by the World War II P-51 Mustang fighter plane advocated for the Mustang name. Despite its aeronautical origin, the Mustang's image became synonymous with a wild running stallion. Back in 1964, the Mustang's grand entrance wasn't on a stage, but in a Detroit parking lot. Before its official debut, Henry Ford II's nephew casually left one there, and the city went nuts. The Detroit Free Press made it front-page news, turning a parking lot faux pas into a Motor City sensation. We bet Uncle Henry had a few choice words about car borrowing after that stunt. Ever heard of the Mustang identity crisis? Ford once toyed with a two-door station wagon and a stretched four-door version. Picture a Mustang trying to be a family car. Yet, stealing the spotlight is the Mustang Shorty, a two-seater with a 20-inch shorter wheelbase with custom fabricated body panels from the windshield back. It still survives today and is actually the oldest Mustang in existence, built using a 1963 pre-production unit. The Undercover Mustang. From 1964 to 1979, Germany witnessed the muscle car's covert operation, known there as the Ford T5, thanks to the Mustang name owned by a German truck manufacturer. Sold through a limited network of Ford dealers and the US military's PX system, these incognito ponies occasionally pop up in the US, bearing the elusive T5 nameplate, a testament to their German past. In 1969 through 1970, Ford birthed the Boss 429, containing the largest displacement engine ever offered in a Mustang, featuring a 429 cubic inch Colossus that put out an underrated 375 horsepower. Due to its poor nose-heavy weight distribution, Ford experimented with a rear-engine Boss 429 by prototyping a development car for testing called the Boss 429 LID for low-investment drivetrain. Testing proved that only minimal gains in handling and performance resulted, so the idea was scrapped. Chrysler's new E-body platform, created for the third-generation Plymouth Cuda and Dodge Challenger to accommodate the wide and heavy Hemi engine, was actually a wheelbase shortened and widened B-body platform that underpinned the Plymouth Roadrunner and Dodge Charger, among others. Interestingly, the Cuda and Dodge Challenger looked to be basically the same car, with different styling elements, but the Cuda had a 2-inch shorter wheelbase than the Challenger. Despite now being considered muscle car royalty, the Cuda didn't sell all that well during its 1970 through 1974 run, making the really desirable Hemi and 440 powered versions very rare. In fact, the Mustang outsold the Cuda 3-1 during that time period. The Cuda was the performance version of the Plymouth Barracuda. But the Cuda name was used before the debut of the third-generation version in 1970. In 1969, the Cuda designation was used on the second-generation Barracuda to denote its performance trim package. A unique option for the 1970 through 1971 Barracuda was the textured gator grain vinyl top, mimicking the appearance of alligator skin that added a touch of luxury and eccentricity. Any 70 through 71 Cuda with a gator grain top is a super rare alligator unicorn. The highest price ever paid for a vintage Chrysler production car at auction is a 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible with a 4-speed manual transmission. It was one of only 3 built in that configuration for 1971, and netted $3.5 million back in 2014. The second of the three built went up for auction in 2021 and was bid up to $4.8 million, but it just wasn't enough for the seller, resulting in a no sale. The Camaro was Chevrolet's Mustang fighter and was based on the Supernova concept car shown at the 1964 New York Auto Show that featured styling elements that appeared on the debut 1967 Camaro, including the rear fender bulges, the windshield shape and rake angle, the trunk lid shape, and the roofline. During development, the project was codenamed Panther. But obviously that's not the name that ended up on the car. The name Camaro is not actually a proper word in any language, but was chosen because of its supposed French slang meaning of friend or comrade. Chevrolet media blitzed the heck out of the Camaro for its first year of production in 1967. They even produced a 20-minute promotional film about the development of the Camaro that was shown on TV and in movie theaters. It definitely worked and got the buying public excited about Chevy's new Mustang Slayer. The Z28 package, first available on the 1967 Camaro, was originally a secret optional performance package as it wasn't mentioned in sales literature. To unlock it, specific options had to be combined: a 302 cubic inch engine, a Muncie 4-speed close ratio transmission, positive traction rear axle, front disc brakes, and the absence of air conditioning or power steering. The Z28 was intended to be a dedicated road race car for the Trans Am Racing Series. There was only one convertible Camaro with the Z28 option ever built. It was a one-off exclusive build carried out by Chevrolet's Special Production Division to convince Chevrolet's general manager to continue to offer the Z28 package as a regular production order option on the Camaro. This is that car, a highly optioned 1968 one-of-none Camaro Z28 convertible. The 1968 Dodge Charger, though iconic, borrowed from the best. Dodge aimed to rival Mustang's GTO, Chevelles, and Fairlanes, so it borrowed styling elements from other cars, like the Chevelle and GTO's flying buttress C-pillar, Corvette's dual round taillights, Mustang's high rear bumper, and the Buick Riviera's sleek grille with hidden headlights. Surprisingly, this derivative mishmash birthed a timeless design that still sets the pulse racing even today. The 1968 Charger flopped on NASCAR superspeedways with its sleek looks concealing terrible aerodynamics. Testing in wind tunnels labeled it as a brick on wheels. To fix it, they created the Charger 500, where the grille was swapped for a coronets and made the back window flush with the C-pillar. The changes improved performance somewhat, but it still wasn't competitive. That would have to wait another year for the release of the Daytona. In 1969, Dodge cranked up the cool factor with the Charger Daytona, basically an aerified Charger RT. Sporting a pointy beak, colossal wing, and a sleek rear window, it dominated NASCAR winning so much that they had to ban it after 2 seasons. A lot of potential buyers found it a bit too wild, with some Dodge dealers having to offer discounts to move that Daytona metal off their lots. In a bold design twist, the iconic 68 Charger's racing-style gas cap was destined for placement in the center of the taillight panel before Dodge's chief designer intervened and placed it on the left rear fender for production. Dodge also flirted with the idea of dual fender-mounted gas caps with one on each side of the car, but complexity and cost intervened, and the plan was axed. The Charger considered getting wild and going topless in 1968 with the mysterious car with no name concept vehicle. No retractable roof here, just the Charger with a cut-off roof and a shortened windshield. In 1969 and 1970, the front and rear bumpers were changed to reflect the current model styling of those years. It toured auto shows and even hit the streets of Detroit, turning heads as a promotional sensation. The 1968 through 1970 Chevelle SS was offered with a little-known engine option that went beyond the high-performance L78 375 horsepower cast iron cylinder head version of the 396. It was designated as the L89, and for an extra $900, you could get the 396 with aluminum cylinder heads and a higher compression ratio. It was actually horsepower rated the same as the L78 396, but weighed around 75 pounds less. Chevelle, the rule breaker of muscle cars. While officially confined to a 396 to 402 cubic inch limit, sneaky speed demons could secretly summon an L72 425 horsepower 427 cubic inch powerhouse to be factory installed through the Central Order Production Office. Dealerships such as Yanko and Nicky Chevrolet utilized the Copo method to order 427 equipped Chevelles in bulk to be sold as limited edition dealership race cars. The 300 Deluxe was the Chevelle's entry-level model, but Chevrolet didn't restrict its engine or trim choices. In 1969, you could order a Chevelle 300 Deluxe pillared post coupe with the SS option with an available L78 375 horsepower 396 cubic inch engine. It came with a plain interior featuring a bench seat and no center console. Only less than 50 determined buyers ordered their Chevelle this way, making them quite rare. The Chevelle was sold in Canada as the Beaumont and was actually a mashup hybrid creation of a Chevrolet Chevelle and a Pontiac Le Mans, with Chevrolet engine choices built on a Chevelle A-body intermediate platform. What made this even cooler was the availability of the Beaumont SD, essentially the equivalent of the Chevelle SS, with the L78 396 cubic inch 375 horsepower big block engine. In the swinging 60s, GM got steamy with the Chevelle, attempting to turn it into a pollution-busting pioneer. Meet the SE-124, a steam-powered speedster that could hit a top speed of 15 miles an hour. Thankfully, it never hit the streets, sparing us the Chevy SSS, Super Steamer Sloth. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and share this video, and subscribe to our channel.